Moroccan dream. The players are making their way from the tunnel, and we are seeing a visual of the Boston Stadium, the sheer epicness, the vastness, the tiered Colosseum that it is being served up in New England, and draped, blanketed across the pitch are the two nations' flags, the Moroccan red with the green pentagram star nestled in the middle, and to the right, the blue Scottish saltire. The FIFA flag is in the middle, 60 feet diameter across, embedded in the centre circle. And you can also see here at the stadium, the video board, 22,000 square feet. It spans the entire width of the North End. It's the largest of its kind in the USA. And when you're talking about the USA, everything is big. So to be the biggest here, you know it's super size. But to put it into perspective, you can park 50 double-decker buses, bumper to bumper in that space. Morocco are out, white shorts, white socks, and a khaki zip-up jacket, just shrouding their national jersey for the time being, while Scotland have traded tangerine for tartan, the salmon pink for the navy blue shirts, shorts and socks. It is a stunning, beautiful day here. It doesn't look like there is a seat in the house of this nigh on 70,000-seater sporting modelling that sits here in the middle of New England. It's the home to the New England Patriots in American football, but today potentially the scene of Scottish football's greatest ever achievement.
National anthem of Scotland.
The AFCON champions Morocco up against the starry-eyed Scots. Coming next here on ITV. travelling horde of Scots men and women who've crossed the Atlantic to make Boston their very own. The shot of the refereeing team, all in fluorescent orange jerseys, black shorts, black socks, and we have an Uzbekistani in Ilgiz Tantashev at the helm. And the VAR team, an American, Armando Villarreal, leading the charge. Hopefully nothing too controversial to come. You couldn't pick a more perfect day for a crunch clash. And Scotland and Steve Clark have picked a 4-5 win. Also a 5-4 changes nevertheless. Harry Hickey makes way for Ryan Christie, and Nathan Patterson's installation gives the team an even more defensive feel to it. Young lad like Ben Galley-Dote moves to the bench. That sees the midfield gap further bolstered by Kieran Tierney, and Shay Adams looks like he will be a sole striker. A lone wolf up top and a rejuvenated McTominay with a big game to play. There are no changes for the Atlas lines. 4-2-3-1 is how they shape up, and captain and talisman Ashraf Hakimi is key in that back four. The young 18-year-old sensation Ayoub Bouhaddi continues in the midfield. El Khanous impressed against Brazil, and Ismail Saibari, his first World Cup. You wouldn't tell by the hesitation-free finish against Alisson in the opener. He wears 11, and we see the Moroccans all in white with red numbers and names on their back, right from their huddle. And they're calm, composed, and dare I say, confident and authoritative-looking Steve Clark surveys the pitch, stood up on the touchline, whilst his counterpart Mohamed Ouabi, only in the job for 3 months, suited and booted on the bench, and now rises to get to the perimeter of the technical area as the camera falls on Ashraf Hakimi, closing in on a century of Moroccan caps, a force of nature, stardust sprinkled all over the Moroccans, but a Scottish team teeming with talent. Scotland in blue, playing left to right. Morocco in white, right to left. Will Scotland's love affair with Boston get its happy ending, or will history repeat itself with a Moroccan masterclass? We're underway, and Morocco try and send the kick-off long and into the corner, just as they did against Brazil in their opener, trying to pin Scotland back territorially. It's cut out, collected, and then cleared long, and the Moroccans have it at their feet. Chadi Riyad in the left-back position, plays it in field to Issa Diop, the Fulham giant, 194 centimetres, that's 6'4" in old money. It's towers above all else out there. Morocco zipping it about around their back four, finding the right side of the field, which is the hemisphere of the field that is drenched in sunlight at the moment. They go back to the shade on the left, and they play a ball in field from Mazraoui, the Manchester United left back. He links up with El Khanous, who had the Brazilians in a real tangle down that left edge in the early throws only a few days ago. Such a quality team. All over the top. Morocco in behind the shot. One touch control. Oh, right-footed rocket! Unleashed into the top corner by Saibari. One of the finest finishes you'll see on any football field, on any continent, any competition, let alone a crunch clash with less than 90 seconds on the clock. He was lifted over the Scottish back four. He collected it on the right side of the box. One touch, allowed the ball to sit up and unleash the thunderbolt. Well, they're looking at the outside. There's no way he beat the trap. Hanley's arm was up. One touch, slammed into the top corner. That'll be a goal of the World Cup contender. And boy, can this lad finish. Angus Gunn nowhere near it. The velocity, the swerve on the volley, and the Moroccan fans are on their feet. And the teammates of Ismail Saibari embrace him. The Birmingham have got a good one right there. That's all the chat. He's leaving PSV. And Scotland are already staring at a deficit with only 2.5 minutes on the clock since the kick-off. Foul from Tierney on Brahim Diaz. One of frustration there on the halfway line. Steve Clark's expression unmoved. Morocco with the ball at their feet. Top of the D. There's no pressure being exerted by Scotland at the moment. Adams, the most promoted, and McTominay looks to have been given a little more licence as well alongside him. There's an error as a long ball sent over the top and Jack Hendry chests the ball out of play. So a flat-footed start from the Scots and also a couple of errors. They're lacking a bit of zip about them. I know only 3.5 minutes have gone, but they're not hunting these Moroccans down with any urgency or intensity, and they're just being given the freedom to pass the ball around in some lovely patterns, sweeping left to right. That's where we are at the moment, again back in the sunshine, round about the halfway line, and Diaz, who is a complete departure from Diop in being 5'6", is dictating things on his own terms in the midfield at the moment, the Real Madrid man. Lots of touches, lots of passes, very little pressure from the Scots at the moment. The Moroccans being given the rule of the roost here at Boston Stadium. It's still in the Moroccan half, it's at the feet of Masraoui. He lifts it to Unahi, the 26-year-old from Girona. Well, I can't remember the last time a Scottish player touched the ball. 4.5 minutes is now gone. Scotland 0, Morocco 1. Still in the Moroccan half, but they're comfortable with that. Scotland are giving them as much latitude as I think the Atlas Lions will enjoy all tournament. Now they put the pressure on the best Scotland pressing into the half again, and loads of shots as Larry's holding him trapped under his body. Morocco on the ball, but maybe that's the tactic today. Wait and pounce. But the Atlas Lions can pounce like no other. They're already into the Scottish half. Diaz, slight miscontrol as he turns round to the right, and then he tries to race away and beat his man. Instead, he keeps a hold of it, spins back, bails out to El Khanous. Morocco working the ball on the right. A little 1-2 with Bouadi, the 18-year-old drawing all the interest. Mazraoui, the United left back, plays it back inside. We're in the centre circle at the moment. And again, Scotland sitting back. We're approaching 6 minutes played. I don't have the stats handy to me, but I'd venture it's 95% Morocco possession for the fans of Scotland. And again comes in with a lofty tackle. Just forward and spread Scotland left. Ball lifted over the top, doesn't get beyond the head of the first and the second jump. Ryan Twisty can't pick his way through the forest of Moroccan limbs on the edge of the box. However, there's sufficient pressure that the clearance isn't too hot. Hanley wins the header, bounces around a little, and then goes out of play. And it'll be a throw-in to Morocco. Mazraoui throws it in again. Scotland persisting with the laid-back approach. They're picking their moments, and he is impressive. Well, you could say there's a lethargy or a standoffishness, albeit watchful from the Scots. When the opportunity is there, they come to life, they really spark. How many of those opportunities to spark will come though at the feet of these talented Moroccans? Diaz on the ball, plays it back into his own half, where Diop is Rouhani to Diaz. Not a time, Diaz lifts it over the top again. It is out of danger by Jack Hendry. Euro 2024 with just one appearance in the qualification campaign for Scotland. Nice ball in behind Scotland again from Morocco. There's a bit too much pace on the ball. They beat the back four, so they couldn't beat the byline, and it would have been a goal kick to the Scots. 8 minutes played, Scotland 0, Morocco 1. Angus Gunn in bright yellow short shirt and socks, dark palm gloves, but fluorescent pink on the back of the hands to match the boots, which are very much the flavour of this World Cup. McGinn wins the duel in the midfield out towards the edge, and his instantaneous ball doesn't go to anyone but Yassine Bonu, who is in goal for Morocco today. Top of the D. The run of the place for Morocco. Diop, stationed up, pretty much at right back at the moment. And the noise beginning to envelop the Boston Stadium. Dispossesses Rouhani clinging onto McTominay's arm. But McTominay is a strong boy, bends him off, works the ball back, and now Scotland have it in their half. They've got it at the feet of Grant Hanley. It's their turn to try and build an attack from way back. They just want a bit of time on the ball, truth be told. Get the feel of the leather on their instep. What the modern day footballers are made of leather. But Morocco press, Morocco dispossessed, and Morocco off, 25 like that, plays it to Arnie, who dribbles the ball in, missing two Moroccan players. Oh, how did Saibari miss it? And then the man to the back post can overrun. Christie was looking for a free kick. It was a beautiful ball from Unai, and the last man was Neil Einawi, and his hands on the head from Mohamed Ouabi. A little bit of confusion in the backfield of Morocco as the line clears. Doesn't get there with Scotland have it, and there's a tussle, and Morocco lose the ball against Scotland. But it breaks for Morocco. They're searching down the left wing. Saibari with the ball on feet, plays it inside. Peter can use, and it's a timely interception. That's a conclusion from Sean Adams. Back at the feet of Saibari, left of the box, finds a nice ball in, almost there for Unai. Oh, chaos reigning in not just the Scotland 18-yard box, but also in the Moroccan backfield. But it is the Moroccans who are finding creation from the chaos. They're carving out opportunities, and they've got the first corner of the game here. Riyad is up. That's 6'1" of him. Unai is going to send in an in-swinger. No, he's not. He plays it short to Diaz, who drops it further back. Now Unai back on the ball, on the overlap is Hakimi, left-footed in, gets cut out by Lewis Ferguson, clears the decks. But at the moment Morocco are finding space so easy to find. Ball tossed up to Mazraoui. Riyad on the halfway line. Morocco again under no duress with the ball at their feet. even allowed to turn, receiving the ball at the back to their goal, and there's nothing uncomfortable for them at the moment from the Scots. Still on the halfway line. Just the back four, playing it amongst themselves. Diaz occasionally coming in, so too Bouadi. At the feet of El-Ainoui. And that's a long ball looking to split the Scottish seam between the centre-back and the left-back. But Angus Gunn races out and claims it. Angus Gunn then looks to throw it to one of his teammates, has a change of heart and scoots it back into his own hands and then serves it up. No harm, no foul in Scottish possession, and namely at the right foot of Grant Hanley. Hanley back to his keeper. Unai racing up. Hanley looks long, goes long. Adams is asked to hair after it. He's got Morocco in the way. It's really well defended from Riyadh, but Adams manages to get his foot wrapped round and keep it in play. However, Patterson wasn't close enough to get it. So, the Moroccans at the top of their D, Bouadi, playing with wisdom and confidence beyond his years. 42 appearances for Lille across their campaign, both in the league and the Europa League. He's 19 in October. What a rich future he has ahead of him. At the moment, it's the Moroccan future that looks bright. 14 minutes played, Scotland 0, Morocco 1. And Morocco, ours has been the way for the entirety of this opening stanza. Being allowed to do what they want with the ball at their feet, working their way up to the halfway line. El-Ainoui. Bouadi on the right flank now, then played back to Diop. Issa Diop goes to his centre half. Now we're playing on the left. Mazraoui off to go back to Bouadi. I'm not sure that Scotland have made 10 passes this match so far. I've mentioned that Morocco near 100. The last pass though is come up by a Scotsman and it's back at the feet of Gunn. He plays it out, but McTominay picks it up deep and stretches his strike. He's a ball in field and winces at it because it wasn't what he wanted. Scotland got away with it. McGinn back to McTominay. McTominay sprays it wide to the left. Scotland living off the tackling strikes at the moment, and you sort of feel that pressure or that tightness to do something good with the ball, and they do so by delivering it out wide to the right where Patterson is. Patterson goes back inside, he's dispossessed by a good challenge from Unai, and it's a clumsy challenge from Lewis Ferguson, who holds the momentum in Morocco, but they don't hang around long to get play back underway. They're into the Scottish half. Playing the ball back to Bouadi. Diaz advances beyond the halfway line, dribbles it out to the right. Possession control, 65% Morocco, 26% Scotland, 9% in contest. Hasn't felt like that. It's felt more like a 90-10 game so far. El-Ainoui gets his pass intercepted. Morocco in the midfield. It's very compelled. McGinn contemplating how the ball to come on to him. Initially he's tackled, but then he comes around through up Patterson on the right. But it's a meaty tackle from El Khanous. He doesn't just win the ball, but it ricochets off the foot of Patterson. It's a throw into the Moroccans. Back at Scottish feet, in the centre circle. Ferguson, McTominay. His passing has been a bit errant, and it's again cut out by the Moroccans. The Atlas Line fans sense there could be a counter on, but it's very deliberate and patient. They play it back into their centre circle. And they're not going to try and counter their way through. They're going to try and pass their way through. And another beautiful way to put it over the top. And Morocco put it to first, but Angus done does very well to snuff out another opportunity from a lifted pass down that right channel. This time it was Ashraf Hakimi who was in pursuit. Scotland passing isn't as crisp, as precise, as guaranteed as that of the Moroccans at the moment, but it's back at the feet of Angus Gunn. He winds up his right limb and sends it all the way up to McGinn. He's scrapping hard in that midfield. The whistle's got against him. The stadium don't like it, he certainly doesn't. And we see a replay here, Grant Hanley just to have his arms wide out like an aeroplane, trying to casually block Ashraf Hakimi, but he scrabbled through, got a foot, and had the trailing leg of Angus Gunn not come into play. Hakimi could have been in for a surprise second for Morocco. As it stands, we're 18 and a half played, and it's the Moroccans leading 1-0. And Chadi Riyad is commanding it at centre-back. Now, at the feet of Hakimi, who's been terrorising defences across Europe all season, the past 2 seasons, back-to-back Champions League winner with PSG. And it's his right wing where the action is now. Another ball just wafted over the top and chased back by Kieran Tierney. Might have gone out for a corner. Or it might just be a throw-in type to the corner flag. Not quite sure at the moment. Well, Hakimi is dribbling it to the quarter crescent of the corner flag, and Issa Diop is up there. The ex-French youth player who switched allegiances in March. Can they seek out all 6'4" of him? No, they can't, because Grant Hanley's there with a firm forehead. But the pressure is mounting on Scotland. And places on here. 6 Moroccans in the Scottish box. There must be 9 Scottish players in there. They do surrender a little bit on height, the Scottish team. But Tominay, though, is one of the tallest, and he gets a good head. Ball bounces free, and Douadi runs up and whacks it. Seemed like a decent connection, but it was blocked. Next cross is blocked in, but it's too close to let it go from Hakimi. And the threat subsides for the time being. Ferguson receives it deep, travels forward a touch, and then gives it to Christie. Christie with Tominay. Scotland 0, Morocco 1. 20 minutes played. Ferguson in his own half, trying to wrest some possession and some passing control. Scotland, they're not being pressurised themselves. That's a nice pass through the middle to Christie. Christie can turn. Christie's across the halfway line. Now it's Andy Robertson. Hardly said the captain's name in these opening skirmishes. Instead it's Hendry. Robertson moves it further left. And Robertson drops back. Scotland looking for an avenue through this white scattered rear guard that is beginning to arrive, fast-footed as the midfield bursts, but then the opportunity for the Moroccans goes, so they fall back into place. Scotland moving the ball around the backfield. This is the longest, most concerted period of possession that they've enjoyed, but they're going nowhere right now. Hendry to Robertson, miscontrolled momentarily. And Hanley moves it right. Patterson. Long before. In a million seconds. And it's a but Issa Diop bided their time. Patterson, I'll tell you what, saw Adams making a break and Issa Diop had taken his eye off the Scotsman and he was going to break free, justly rewarded or administered or brandished yellow card. And there's a bit of mirth in the stands from the Scotsman now. I think that Andy Robertson is saying to the referees, you know, he's the last man. You know, does that merit a red card? It'd be extraordinary if he didn't give it, but it is certainly a free kick, and it's Scotland's best attacking football of this game so far. Centre of the field, 35 yards away from the goal. A white line of Moroccan defenders just on the edge of the D. Chipped to the left, first by control, volleyed into the box and then cleared by the Moroccans, who then race free to apply some pressure on Ferguson. All he can do is pass it back to his keeper and his gun deep. And he flies a diagonal ball high to the left. He is fouled. And it will be a free kick to the Moroccans. So Pep Guardiola in the stands. And they're alongside a friend, so they can dissect and digest the 23 minutes and 55 seconds that have just been as we move to the first hydration break of the match.
£75,000 and a trip for two to New York to watch the FIFA World Cup final on the 19th of July. A single entry by text or online costs £2.50 plus your standard rate message. The text entries close at 10 a.m. on Monday the 6th of July. Post closes at 12 p.m. on Thursday the 9th of July. Entrance must be 21 over. You can visit the website or scan the QR code for full entry details. So, what do you make of the state of play?
Well, disaster start. Make no mistake about it. I saw it happen in front of my eyes. I thought, no, I couldn't believe about Phil Mitchell there. He's just got to match the runs on. You match the run, you're forced to set the forward away from goal. It takes a chance, steps out, to run offside, gets his timing all wrong. And unfortunately, sometimes you get away with it at a lower level. When you're up against guys of that quality, the finish was nothing short. Nicholson just smashed it by the goalkeeper. But, you know, they're looking a little bit nervous, Scotland, the possession of the ball, John. You know, there's no doubt Morocco look brighter and better at this moment in time. They're up to the migration break. All I would hope for would be a little bit more composure in their passing and show a little bit more belief and more confidence.
In the direction of getting more World Cup football coming up on ITV1 and STV. Following this game, we're off to Philadelphia to see the other two teams in this group, Brazil and Haiti in action. That's a 1:30 a.m. kickoff. And for the really valiant amongst you, that's followed by Turkey against Paraguay on the west coast, San Francisco. 4 a.m. kickoff for that. And then Saturday, 8 p.m. Germany against Cote d'Ivoire from Toronto, also live on ITV1 and STV. And if you miss anything at all, the fan zone on the ITVX app has you covered the match highlights and behind-the-scenes clips. You can keep bang up to date with the latest from the tournament at the ITVX app.
For the final seconds of the hydration break, see us look at images of the respective coaches just downloading tactical, strategic, emotional information to their charges. The Scottish fans are buoyant in the crowd despite the scoreline and the nature of the first 23 minutes or so. And the Moroccan fans, understandably, a lot of white teeth on show as the smiles are broad, because the Atlas Lions have roared in this opening quarter of this round 2 Group C clash. The players are back onto the field and the game will restart with Yassine Bonu, who has just Bono on his back of his shirt. just shields his eyes as he's about to kick into the dying sun here in Boston. About 40 minutes from Fenway Park, the home of the great Boston Red Sox. It is Morocco who've stolen base one early in this match though, and they have it at their feet again. Diop on a yellow card. It's his turn to shield his eyes from the sunlight. It was just the tiniest slither that is an avenue of sunlight down the right flank of the field. It is gradually dying, but when you're in it, clearly by the players, it is dazzling on the retina. They're in there now. And it's Diaz out there, wide on the right. You can tell just by the size differential of him and Diop. Approaching a foot difference. You can get that in football. Saibari, loose pass, sluggish pass, intercepted, but then the quick ball forward to Adams is cut out by the Moroccan defence. It's just so many more numbers in white jerseys at the moment. When Scotland do manage to get a crumb, and Diop has it in the waning slither of sun on the right hand side that goes into the corner. Morocco showing confidence at the back. They are 3 yards from their goal. Diop gets it at his feet in the right corner and just sends it all the way along the halfway line. One by the Moroccans. There's going to be a foul here, but it's great strength from Diaz, who continues to scamper through the Scottish ranks. 1-2, Diaz back onto the ball in the 18-yard box, using some boxing feet, lays it back, shot away from the right foot of El Ainaoui. A bit of fight, a bit of determination, and more than a touch of quality from the footwork and the passing of Brahim Diaz, and he dropped it back, but Ainaoui, he really should have hit the target. A great early, well, a good early chance against Brazil. Didn't quite catch it in the opening group game, and then he tested Allison late on from outside the box. They don't mind having a tilt from beyond the 18-yard box. 14 attempts on goal to Brazil's 12. During their match, 8 of them from outside of the box. So Scotland beware, and El Ainaoui is one of the main proponents of that. 30 minutes played, Scotland 0, Morocco 1. Morocco have the ball under their spell, back in their own half. Riyadh in the middle, orchestrating things. Pop ball to Bouhaddi out to the right. Nice 1-2 in the midfield. Then a Scottish tackle comes in. Then it breaks. Then McGinn gets it. But control, and then he's swept aside by Ainaoui, who surges forward, tumbles onto one Scottish player too many. After a heavy touch, the team the ball, move away from him, and it was well shepherded eventually by Lewis Ferguson. It's a free kick to Scotland. They've taken it, and Christie on the ball drops it back to Hanley. Hanley goes across the face. Hendrick to Hanley in the corner of his box, on the right edge of the box as far as Scotland are concerned. Hurriedly clears the ball to nicely controlled chest down low from McGinn, and Scotland are moving up the field. McTominay picks it up on the halfway line. Hanley to McGinn. McGinn straight to ball, 25 yards from goal. Nice little bit of feet from Christie. Now it's Patterson out wide on the right, drops it back to Christie. He can't quite control it, and he's dispossessed, and off goes Saibari down the left. Two Scotsmen winning, but you back Saibari, he's just oozing confidence, and he finds a nutmeg to find a teammate. He then finds an inside ball, and 5 Scottish defenders are left all at sea. Now we're out to the right with Diaz. Diaz, diminutive, Maradona-like in the manner with which he low-slung scampers around with the ball on his left boot. Bails out to Bouadi, and then Morocco take the pace out of the game, and they work it back much to the audible displeasure of the Boston Stadium. Ball has been passed about 10 or 15 times between the same quartet of players all the way back to the halfway line for Morocco. It eventually lands with Diaz. He can't get past McTominay, but it's out for a throw-in. But one thing that has been really noticeable this World Cup is how many children are in the stadiums. And when the camera cuts away to the fans, you see a young Scots lad with 6'7", shaved into the side of his head, much to the mirth of a certain generation that will be tuning into this. And then it cuts to a young Moroccan lad in the lap of his father, his older brother, and it's just wonderful to see the demographics that are being engaged despite the eye-watering ticket prices that are well documented. Morocco back on the ball. They have it on the left edge. Saibari just looks so lively every time he has it, and the left wing is proving a fruitious avenue for Morocco. Oh, a little bit of skill to free up Mazraoui. He drops it into the top of the 6-yard box, but it's cut out by desperate Scottish foot. Scotland defending deep. Who was cleared for a throw-in. Now it's back to Diop in the centre circle. El Ainaoui arrives to help. A little bit of a shove in the back for Hakimi as he collects the ball back to the goal. But he rides the challenge and gives it back to his defenders. Scotland very deep at the moment. Shea Adams the most advanced, and well, he's barely up to the centre circle at the moment. Bouadi offers himself in field, but instead Morocco are happy to just zip it about on the right edge. Unai to Bouadi. He sends a long diagonal to the left, but there's too much on it, and El Khamis, even leaping, almost kung fu style to try and control it in the air, can't get to the ball. It's out for a throw-in, and now in Scottish possession. On the left wing, few gaps opening up. Feels like the Moroccan midfield is slightly less connected, and it's a very shows coming together. The ball breaks through, the whistle hasn't gone. Saibari goes in! The ball been played from Saibari. There's a lot of controversy about how it ended up in his feet, but he just popped it off to the left, where El Khamis was arriving, and he opened his body to just plant the ball to the right, then it must have come off his shin or the ball of his ankle and ballooned high over the bar. Well, it is off the instep of his boot. It was just a poor bit of control and finishing. That was a chance, but the reason that it would have been controversial is because it looked like McTominay had been fouled, but in the coming together, the Moroccan player, who I think was El Ainaoui, tumbled over himself and fell on the ball, and the ball sort of squirted free from his body and into the path of Saibari. And everyone had kind of stopped for a moment, but Saibari didn't hesitate, and Scotland lucky to get away, but El Ainaoui not getting away without a bloody mouth. He's got a bit of gauze shoved in his mouth as he makes his way from the field after the medical team have come on for him. He takes it out and you can see the blood. And he doesn't look very happy. He's there on the sideline at the moment, gesturing to the referee that he wants to come on. And he is beckoned back, and we are back to 11 on 11. Scotland 0, Morocco 1. 37 minutes played. Scotland yet to fire a shot. metaphorically and literally. Can they build something? Can they threaten? Can they find some penetrative purpose? Hakimi racing down the right edge for Morocco, cuts inside, lays it off to Diaz at the top of the box, and he shows some really good control as he gets swarmed upon by blue jerseys. Turns, Hendry inside the night, Diaz looking for a white jersey to deliver it to. Finds one at the edge of the box in El Nuri. Diaz fires the ball hard and low, and it ends up fortuitously. Shoulder in the back, it won't be a yellow card. Kieran Tierney's riding around looking for more. El Nawi race back, he's still got balls in his mouth with the blood plain to see. And in truth, Tierney forgot his bearings, and he should have got a call from one of his teammates because El Nawi was closing in on him and Scotland were on the counter. But El Nawi, with his war wounds, came and made the tackle illegally so, but he didn't get a yellow card either. So all in all, a good foul. Just shy of 39 minutes play. Andy Robertson. From 40-45 yards out, puts his hand up and fires the ball in long into the box of Morocco. It goes over everyone, it is collected by Hendry, and then James comes in from Mazraoui, and I think it's come off. Hendry said it won't be even a corner to Scotland. Or maybe it's offside. Just seeing the replay. Ushers all of his players to get as far away from the Moroccan goal as possible. He's going to route one this. It's one bouncing out on the left wing of Morocco, and Patterson gets a fresh ball in his urgency to go quickly. You can just hear Steve Clark delivering some instructions from next to him in the technical area, bleeding through the mic. Morocco are winning all the 50-50 balls, they're winning the 70-30 balls, truth be told, and now they're on the right wing here. Boos ring out as Morocco enter clearly the densely populated Tartan Army end of the stadium. They're here on the right hand side, they're not creating, they're not threatening, but they're keeping it. Diaz, prominent, increasingly influential, increasingly untakeable, taking 4 spots to first stadium. Look at that, immediately as Christie gets his way across the halfway line, he's got 5 white jerseys, he can't find a pass, he can't find a friend, and Morocco are back on the ball on the halfway line. And either looking to see this half of football out, or to get another goal, a late goal to take him to the changing rooms, and really make it a Massachusetts mountain for the Scots to climb. Buhari, really long, sort of floppy, bouncing hair, longest out there. You can see it just sort of flailing around when he's moving with the ball or working hard off the ball. Mazraoui finds Saibari, his stunning finish, the difference at the moment. Looks to fashion an opportunity on the left edge, but instead he's tackled Buhari. Grabs it instinctively with his hands, but it's not a foul. It's going to be a free kick for handball. Scotland. Well, they've got to take joy from everything, haven't they? We're just looking at the match momentum graphic at the moment, and all the peaks are in favour of the Moroccans in this match. There are some tiny elevations in favour of the navy blue of Scotland. And I wonder if you're a Scotsman, if you're a Scottish player, whether this passage is about seeing the half out and hitting the reset button for the second 45. Clearance from the Moroccan keeper, won by Al Khanous. He missed that opportunity a few moments ago. Doesn't find the ball to his teammate, Hanley's there instead. So to Gunn. Scotland walking the ball away from their box. Hanley. Nice ball into the middle. McGinn's there. McGinn turn. He's on the swivel looking for a teammate. All he finds is white jerseys, but one of them is sliding. Not necessarily the Musa Mazraoui, and McGinn wins the free kick. Good position this for Scotland. Pace inside in field from the right flank of Scotland attack. 25 yards from the byline. Lewis Ferguson is gesturing at Raheem Diaz, saying that he's not him, he needs to get that. Because Lewis Ferguson is looking to put an in-swinger into the box. Oh, it's a beauty! But the Moroccan head gets there first. A little bit of quality on the delivery, but no Scottish head could get to it. Hakimi releases the Scottish pressure by kicking the ball long down the right wing. Scotland collect, and now they're looking confident on the ball. McGinn muscling his way around. It is an extravagant theatrical dive from Mazraoui. There was maybe the palm of 3 finger pads of John McGinn on his back, and when he took off like he was being launched from NASA, and we just see the ball that went in a moment ago is a very good Moroccan head to get there. And the free kick has gone to Morocco from that McGinn challenge, and with 25 seconds remaining of normal time, we await to hear how much additional we're going to get. The free kick is sent directly into touch. Nathan Patterson throws the ball in, receives it back from Tristan. Patterson across the face to his goalkeeper Gunn. Gunn to Hendry. Confidence from the Scots in confined quarters near their goal. Their help arise in the shape of McTominay. And there is a little more confidence being built with every pass that the Scots are stringing together. 5 additional minutes to play of the half. Remember, in that Brazil match, as more structure came into the game, as a bit more fatigue came into the legs, that's when the Moroccan battle began to fade a little. And Scotland bank on that being the case here today. McTominay receives it from Robertson. McTominay can't find a way to advance forward, but Scotland have it composed at their feet, and it really works to the right for Patterson. Patterson! This is it! Tierney was there! Scotland came to life in the dying end of the first half. Patterson got the ball wide on the right, sent a cross in early, missed everyone, including Tierney, who was the secondary player arriving. Then the first time ball came in from Robertson, fast, flat, fizz, and there was just a bit too much spice on it from McGinn arriving at the back post to get the right body part, the right angle to send it goalwards. But there are real signs of life for the Tartan Army. Storms forward, throws the ball out, ball goes into the box and is cut out by the towering throw of Diaz. Ramsey challenge coming in, over the left, cuts it back, Tierney! He up to the crucial time, and match here. I wonder. Now the referee is blowing his whistle, and there may be VAR coming in here. Have a look at this challenge. And then the challenge came in. No, there won't be any VAR. The referee waves play on, but the pressure still mounting on Morocco. Hanley in the area, making use of himself. And then the secondary ball is won by Morocco and sent as long and as far from their goal as they can. Whole complexion of the game has changed in these closing moments. Angus Gunn puts his studs on top of the ball and allows Scotland to reconfigure themselves, to reload for another shot down to the Moroccan box. Working the ball around through passing. Long, diagonal ball, seeking McGinn. McGinn leans his body, and he had done enough to evade the leaping challenge, I think, of Mazraoui. But the ball then bounced and skipped out for a throw-in. And Mazraoui passed it, and it just has to take it quickly because it's a poor challenge late on the back of Lewis Ferguson. Ball is kindled around various parts of Moroccan and Scottish and nationalities. McTominay's on the deck now. Players are crying out for a call, but nothing coming from our man in the middle from Uzbekistan, Ilgiz Tantashev. Scotland, minute left according to the additional 5 minutes. But there has been a stoppage as well. Straight ball through the middle. Shay Adams not on the same wavelength as the man who passed it. And it travels all the way to Yassine Bonu, who takes his time in picking it up, then hunts the ball long and flat up the field. Headed won by Scotland. Then the next bounce falling to Scottish feet, but two Moroccans close in. Morocco had the ball. 20, 30, 40, 60 yards now from the Scottish goal. There was a hint as it broke whether Morocco might be able to make Scotland pay. 15 seconds of the half remaining. When you take into account the additional 5 minutes shown on the illuminated board. Referee poised with his whistle, checking his wrist once, checking it twice. And he has seen enough. And I think that we have seen just about enough from Scotland in those closing moments to say that they're in this, that they've got what it takes, but they will have to be that and better in the second half because they head to the sheds trailing 1-0.
Feeling at peace, everything is too stage. And let's do it. It is our moment live. Hydro, how are we doing so far? How are your nerves? Listen, we're still in this. How are you doing, guys? It's only one goal, a draw will do us, so we've still got hope, we've still battle on. Yeah.
10-15 minutes start a bit better.
Let's do this, Beth. Let's get a wee take on how we're doing. Let's bring back a big match Monday. Let's hear it for Charlie Muldoon and Rob McLean. Well, Charlie, not exactly the ideal start there, but at least we seem to have steadied the ship a wee bit and actually finished the half quite well.
That English commentator needs to get the fuck. Jesus Christ. Can you hear that cunt? Jesus, man. Absolute fucking damn cloth. But I won't cut that fucking hair, man. That's not my truth. Nothing else, right? Let's fucking have a good time. Let's start the songs from the start. Forget that commentator. He doesn't want us to win. He's fucking English. Fuck him!
Are you available for a wee bit of commentary?
I wish I could commentate the second half. I would start with the William Wallace speech. I would then go with fucking the national anthem. And then I would start with 2 sing songs. Fuck that cunt!
The game, the first half, wasn't a great start, obviously. Straight away, picked up a wee bit. What are you thinking?
Well, it's been a tough watch, hasn't it? But I'm really delighted the last few minutes because that's restored my faith in what can happen tonight. I'd be delighted anyway with 1-0 at half time because it's been a bit of a horror show at times. But that last 3 or 4 or 5 minutes makes me think if we can pick up with that in the second half, we could get somewhere.
Listen, there's no doubt about it, right? It's a hard watch. Forget what that cunt's saying, right? Let's fucking lift this roof. Right? We cannot say things. Let's fucking have a sing song. Let's have a good night. And let's fucking make this good. Let's fucking lift this roof up.
Scottish commentator for?
No! Scotland, no party! No Scotland, no party! No Scotland, no party! No Scotland, no party! Here we go!
Yeah, a motivational speaker tomorrow.
Honestly.
Charlie, very quickly on the game then, right, we steadied the ship, last 5 or 10 minutes, much better. We need to maybe go a bit more on the front foot here, couple of shots.
We're looking a bit scared, Let's fucking take it to them. The last 10 minutes has been alright. We've given a few chances, lifted off our seat. At the end of the day, let's bring the fucking atmosphere, let's bring it. Let's bring it to the start.
Any changes for you, Rob, at half time? Any changes for you at half time?
I don't think I think you'll be really encouraged by the last few minutes of the first half. But we're going to see Ben Gannon, hopefully, second half. Maybe Finlay Curtis, Lawrence Shangland. It's getting better!
Only substitution at the game is that fucking commentator.
There we go. Listen, brilliant analysis, and see after that, we've got hope we can do this. Can we do it, folks? Come on, Ivo! Let's see it for the guys from Morbius, Rob McLean, and for Charlie. Come on!
Need to lift the atmosphere in here so they can hear us all the way in Northstead. No Scotland, no party.
No
Scotland, no party.
No Scotland, no party.
That's what I'm talking about, guys. But before we get ready for the second half, I just want to give a big thank you to everyone who supported the Glasgow Children's Hospital charity tonight. Well done to everyone who took part in the Keep You Up Challenge. We do have our winners. So the grown-up Keep You Up King was Charlie McQueen with an amazing 534 Keep You Ups. So big applause for him. And the Keep You Up Kid winner was was Holly McCallum with a fantastic 188 keep-ups. So again, massive well done today. The Glasgow Children's Hospital charity will be in touch with you next week to arrange your prize. And there's only one thing left to do before we head over for the second round. No Scotland, no party! No Scotland, no party! When those teams go out, guys, make sure you're absolutely screaming your hearts out, singing your hearts out so the boys can hear you all the way in Boston. Now, come on, Scotland!
This is what we need to do. Charlie's right and Beth is right. We are here, the biggest fan party in the country, the only one doing. We can do it as loud as we can. Morning Scotland, make some noise!
Sensation. You drive me blind to beg for more.
Kicking it long, one bounce and out by the corner flag, and looking to pin Morocco back in their half, which is where they ended the first half. They want to maintain that pressure, and Morocco are taking quite a long time to get this ball. They're getting the countdown from the referee, and it was almost a turnover, but they do ultimately deal with it well. Tell you what, Jack Henry's lucky, had his left arm wrapped around the neck Ismail Saibari as the long ball came up from Morocco. Few close quarter passes to speak of in the opening 40 seconds as both sides are just boofing it around. No changes to report at the moment for either side. So for Scotland, it's Gunn, Robertson, McTominay, Hanley, Tierney, McGinn, Adams, Christie, Hendry, Ferguson and Patterson playing a 4-5-1, 5-4-1 sort of shifting midfield defensive bolstered lineup, whilst for Morocco it's a 4-2-3-1. Bonu, Hakimi, Mazraoui, Bouhaddi, Unai, Diaz, Saibari the goal scorer, Diop, Riyad, El Khanous and El Ainaoui. Scotland have it in their possession and they're in the Moroccan half, just beyond the centre circle. Now it's spread to the left where Robertson is. Can they get the captain into this game a little more? A very modest impact in the first 45. Ferguson controls it in the middle, receives it back, drops it to Hanley. Not a great pass from Ferguson, has Hanley scampering, and as a result he's now 20 yards inside his own half. Bit more whip on it though to Jack Henry. He finds his captain, nice control with his left, puts in an early prop, but it's cut out by big Issa Diop. Heading out for a throw-in. Steve Clark retreats from the extremity of his technical area back to the bench. The referee comes in to speak to Kieran Tierney about something, maybe the nature of his shin guards. He's adjusting his socks. Now he's sort of wiped the perspiration on the palms of his hands, on the back of his shorts, and he's going for a long throw-in. Here it comes. Good ball sent in, header one by Scottish Kevin Hanley. Then the second, then the third, and it's back at the feet of Tierney out on the left. He plays it inside to Ferguson. Scotland starting brightly in this second half. Bit of confidence about the way they're passing. Christie has to play it back to Patterson, to poor ball, and it's cut out by Diaz, who controls it on his chest, and then beautifully with the outside of his left boot to almost matador the chasing Scottish player who thought he had a hope of winning it. McKinnon hesitating, the whistle not blowing, and he can't quite get past him. McKinnon had the ball in his possession, moving away from the goal to the right, outside of the box. He took it up. VAR may not come in and have something to say about this. That has to be a penalty. It's a touch from McGinn, and the challenge comes in for Neil El Ainawi. There's no contact with the ball, but plenty on El Ainawi. And, well, the Blues will tell you that it's not a penalty, it's not going to be looked at. And it's a goal kick, and Yassine Bonu is taking so long that he's now giving the countdown that we're back off and underway. Jeers of discontent continue to ring around. It's a hefty challenge. It's getting a little fractious now. The passions are beginning to flare, but Morocco have the ball at their feet on the left wing, on the halfway line. Beautiful ball, slide ball, down the side of the field, cut back inside, Salini, flying down the left edge was El Khanous. It was a beautiful ball from Mazraoui. He took one touch almost to the byline, cut it back inside. Saibari came racing forward to connect with it left-footed towards the front post, and I think it ricocheted off the tackling attempt of a Scotsman, and then ballooned up and bounced off the top of the bar and off for a corner kick. A brilliant counter, and Scotland living by their wits. Morocco corner, they take it short. Diaz receives it back. The Scottish arm goes up for offside. Right footed, it's sent in, and it was only feathered off the top of Hanley's head. You feel like it was an important one because Saibari was working at the back post. Well, yes. In fact, worse than that, Diop was working at the back post, and Hakimi goes over to take the corner from the other side of the field now. He lightly gestures to the crowd to give his team, his Moroccan players, a bit more energy. There's a bit of scuffling and bustling in the box. Diop, this goal, the Scottish defender, Hakimi! Safe and gone. Hakimi sent the corner in low, fizz, to not even to the near post, about 5 yards towards the corner, and it was a brilliant glancing header from El Khanous, and an outstanding save from Angus Gunn. But if Gunn hadn't got there, that was it. Guns keeping Scotland in the contest. And, well, the nature of the scrapping in the box, which meant Neo Arnawi has had his shirt pretty much ripped from his back. He's had to have a replacement shirt because his other one was shredded. Safari has found a way into the Scottish box, but his control isn't good enough, and it scrambles free from his feet into the hands of Angus Down. His throw out isn't a great one. Scotland under pressure, but that is composed from Patterson. He does very well to find some room for himself, but the pressure, the heat is still on, and there is a bit of an openness to the start of this second half. Nearly 8 minutes played. Morocco take the pace, take the frenetic nature out of things by navigating the ball to their centre half. Diop then spreads it to the right. Good challenge coming in behind on Diaz from McTominay. The challenges are heating up. There's a bit more venom, a bit more bite in the deeds of both Moroccans and Scots. Jack Hendrick takes it forward for Scotland. Scotland passing it around and then stretching their legs forward. Up and beyond the halfway line. Robertson tight to the touchline. A little shove in the back of Kieran Tierney, loses his feet for a moment, but then regathers himself and bails the ball back to his back four. Room opening up wide on the right now. Scotland finding more avenues in the direction of forward. In fact, they're getting a firm foothold now. McGinn, rare miscontrol from him, even though he's being hassled and harried. And then it's a free kick to Morocco. Frustration for Lewis Ferguson, who was adamant that he got something of the ball. But Morocco will be glad to get the free kick and take a bit of sting out of Scotland. Diop, back to his keeper, Bonu. Brilliant challenge. It was thunderous from Morocco in the midfield, and Ferguson came steaming in. He throws his shoulder into the back of Ferguson and sends him flying across the byline along with the ball. It was Hakimi who'd gone to sleep, and well, it wasn't a shoulder, it was an extended arm from Bouadi after Ferguson tried to move himself in front of the ball. Just seeing a replay of the Saibari effort that hit not even the top of the crossbar, but the corner of the post and the crossbar. That's how close it got. 55.5 minutes played. Scotland 0, Morocco 1. There is opportunity for both sides. Bouadi. Mazraoui. At left back. Taps it across halfway, and then El Ainaoui passes it back a little deeper. Now they're a little further into the Scottish half. Pass by pass. Diop is stationed out wide right here with no one close to him. He's going to receive it now. Looking for options. With his palms out, just imploring his teammates to give him something to work with. Gets it in the end, but he's had to sacrifice 20 yards. And Morocco are well back in their half. Bouadi puts a bit more whip on it and finds Diaz. Tricky customer with the ball at his feet. A string puller. And it's a nice triangle work by the Moroccans down the right-hand side. Bouadi lets the slip one final ball to Hakimi, but it is intercepted in timely fashion. Then McTominay arrives on the scene. And Scotland almost took some brilliant passes to free himself down the left. Diaz is stuck in, puts it onto his right, feints a shot, then goes back to his right, and it's blocked by Scotland. Ball broke kindly for a moment there, and then the ball bounces and ricochets off a couple of Scottish there. And Adam thinks for a moment he might be able to latch onto a loose ball, but Buadi's there, then Diop, and then arriving is Unai Hakimi. Links up with Unai on the right. In the Scottish half, just popping the ball around this right channel. They're working some nice triangles and squares and rhombuses and all manner of shapes. The Moroccan midfield and more attacking minded players. Kieran Tierney's down. He's yet to get back up as well, so I'm not quite sure what happened here, but two physios have been dispatched in golden bibs, with both carrying a doctor's bag. And I'm not sure that Boston has ever seen so many kilts as it has done over the last number of days. We've just seen a shot of the travelling support that was being embraced by the city of Boston. There's always been a Celtic connection, but more so towards the Irish in Boston, but I think they've grown rather fond of their Scottish cousins. And here's a bit of firepower about to be unleashed. It is Darren Doak, the revelation down the right. And it looks like he may be coming on for Kieran Tierney, who is flanked by a physio, and the referee is coming on to sort of shepherd Tierney from the field. Can't figure out what the injury may be, but either way, it felt that Darren Doak would be unleashed sooner or later. The 20-year-old from Bournemouth. He absolutely emptied the tank against Haiti a few days ago, so I wonder if there's a little bit of energy management about the young man and why he started on the bench. Injury plagued since the Denmark game, had surgery on his hamstring, 4 months out, but he's in for 30 minutes of action here, because we're just about to tick through 60 with Scotland trailing 1-0. Body's being thrown around as the ball gets pinged around high, back and forth across the halfway line. Scotland there have it under the command of their feet now. McTominay lays it off. Robertson in his own half, bit of pressure here. Hendry allows it to go through to Gunn, who gives it to Hanley. Nice control from Ferguson. He was getting smothered by a couple of would-be Moroccan dispossessors, but he's done well, and now Hendry has it out towards the left. Finds his captain Robertson, still well within the Scottish half, but McTominay spots an angle that he likes and sends a long diagonal, gets cut out by Mazraoui, and danger signs. El Khanous searing down the left, looks to cut it back again, and once again Scottish players there to intercept. But as soon as El Khanous is loose down the left, it's just alarm bells ringing. Sooner or later, one of his balls is going to find Saibari in the right place. Cameron Doak fouls Houssem Mazraoui as he receives a 1-2 from El Khanous. Again, I think Mazraoui guilty of over-enhancing the contact. The Moroccan fans in the stand not agreeing with my view from that perspective. Ashraf Hakimi with a free kick in a threatening position, round about the top edge of the Scottish box. Tries to send a flat cross in. The head of Ryan Christie is there first, and then a few more heads coming, including Diop, who wins it for Morocco. Hakimi unleashes launches one, tries to shape it into the far right post, but it flashes across the goal, and the threat goes. Hakimi popping up on the left this time. Nice enough strike, just didn't quite have the curl to work it inside the goal or test Angus gun. Scotland looking to run the ball from out of their half. Hendry getting handled by Saibari. Hakimi back to his keeper. He goes back to his captain. He's getting roundly booed at the moment. Wants one of his teammates to offer him an option. He gets it inside and passes it across the face. There Riyadh is. Couple of 1-2s with Mazraoui on the left. Back into the centre they play. El Ainaoui to Unahi, who's dropping back. So too is Bouhaddi. Scotland, McTominay trying to pressure. It's an awful ball from Bornu. Skipped and ballooned. Over the bar. A poor ball from Bonu to Diop, created the opportunity for Scotland to put a few passes together, and Christie just couldn't keep it down. It opened up. It was a lovely touch to allow him to pull the trigger with his right foot, but it was always rising. And there's frustration on the faces and in the gestures of the Scottish fans. They can see time slipping away. There's still a lot to play. 64 minutes played. Scotland 0, Morocco 1. And Scotland have the ball. They're winning the 50-50s. They're winning the muscular contest at the moment. The good chance to lift the ball over the top, round the back here. Hakimi for Robertson to chase, but there is always too much pace. Goes out for a goal kick. Just a reminder, a win for Scotland guarantees the breaking of new World Cup ground. A draw gets them there or thereabouts. A loss, things get complicated. A heavy loss, then goal difference could prove terminal to the Tartan Dreams. They're 1-0 down, and El Ainaoui has the ball at his feet, looking for a passage across the halfway line. Lifted over the top of Andy Robertson, who's brought down Ashraf Hakimi in the tangle. Robertson is outraged as he's shown a yellow card. The referee isn't having any of it. Just the second of the game. Robertson quickly retreats to his position, the Barkley instructions. He been turned a little by Hakimi. There was minimal contact. They had Hakimi got away, but there would have been trouble for Scotland. There is still trouble looming on the left now. El Khanous working with Mazraoui and Bouhaddi. He fires the ball back in field. El Ainaoui. Diaz, Diop. There is a comfort back in the touches of Morocco now, as they're comfortable passing the ball around the halfway line, moving a little further forward now. El Ainaoui. 66 minutes gone. Scotland 0, Morocco 1. Little to report from a Moroccan standpoint as they're still operating in this 10 or 15 yards either side of the halfway line, moving it between the midfield and the defence. Olnay getting involved. Mazraoui has Riyadh alongside him for company, and again back to the centre circle. Hakimi strides a little further down the right. El Khanous popping up on the right. this sort of shape-shifting Moroccan attack. You never know if El Khanous is right, if he's left, if he's central. Very difficult for Scotland to pick up, mentally draining. But now, a little more direct, a little more mazy goes the running on Army, but he's tackled, and Scotland try and catch Morocco on the counter. Long ball gets snaffled by Mazraoui, and then Bonu moves it on wider to Diop. Diop to his captain. Bit of room here for Hakimi, and there's a sense in the purpose of his strike. Linking up with Onai. Didn't mind going for a run and a dribble a moment ago. Now, a few more triangles in the midfield. Diaz might just open up there and threads it back to Onai. Just tried to smuggle it through the bevy of Scottish bodies, but it's cut out and it's cleared. But Morocco are building in confidence again. A replay of the dribble from Onai, which ended with him being dispossessed and calling for a foul. And well, just like that, it's the second hydration break as the players make their way to the dugouts to get some liquids on board.
So the 1:30 AM kickoff, that's followed from San Francisco by Turkey against Paraguay. That's a 4 AM start. It is Saturday after all coming up. And Saturday evening, 8 PM, Germany against Cote d'Ivoire, which is live from Toronto, also ITV1 and STV. If you miss anything with Fan Zone on the ITVX app, as you covered from match highlights and all the behind-the-scenes news and clips, you can keep up to date with the latest from the World Cup there by the ITVX app. And in terms of team news, filtering through from that upcoming game in Philadelphia, Brazil making a couple of changes for Manchester United for Matheus Cunha. Former Manchester City defender Danilo coming in. Roger Ibanez and Igor Thiago dropping to the bench. And a couple of changes by Hitty as well. In terms of Scotland in the first game, an extra defender from Kevin Duverne coming in. Sunderland's Wilson Isidore drops to the bench. Let's see on our next fixture. This one.
Just up to the stage. Let's roll the dice, Stevie, and see what we've got. Anecdotes obviously come on. Let's get another couple of forwards on, see if we can nick a goal. And I mentioned obviously Lon Shanklin. It looks like that Bigland and Diggs are getting the nod for him. Fresh looks like a fresh comes up from the back end of the scoring that goal that we'll never forget against Denmark.
As we get some interesting statistics related to that. Namely, that between the ball leaving Kenny McLean's good one, was not handed, and Ripley the Danish net. 3.38 seconds for parabolic deflection.
Really was, wasn't it?
Precise time.
Well, I would have gone with 4-3.
Well, the hydration break is done, and the players are ambling back into position. And as you heard there from Alan McCloyce, the change is being run, and we are going to see Scott McLean bring his 50-plus cap experience onto the field, and Lyndon Dykes as well, a target man in this closing 20 minutes of the match. Dykes, 25 minutes against Brazil. We'll get just shy of that here against Morocco. Get Haiti, I beg your pardon. And ball bounces around, comes off the Scottish head and goes out for a throw-in. Big header. Diaz first there. bit of a coming together. McTominay arriving in a hasty nature, and also just the physical disparity between them. Diaz was always going to go tumbling. Free kick given and free kick taken. Morocco on the ball, on the left. Nasraoui playing it back. Just under 18 minutes of the 90 to play. Dykes looking to apply some heat on the Moroccans in their backfield. But skipping past goes the deft Milal Ainawi. Morocco don't have too long to survive to emerge with a precious 3 points in this incredibly tight and difficult group. Semi-finalists in Qatar, and well, a class act really. If you were marking the crash land in New Jersey last week and you were fortunate to find a few $1,000 in the UFO to go and watch them beat Brazil, and you've been told that one of the teams had won the World Cup 5 times prior, you'd probably have said it was Morocco, not knowing anything about the game. We're going to give some very good teams a lot of problems throughout this World Cup. Scotland want to do the same, but they'll need to go deep into the competition. Over the top, and herring after it goes Gannon Doe. The ball bounces, sits up for Yassine Bonu, who takes the ball, and then Gannon Doe collides into the keeper. And both players are now down on their backs and looking a little worse for wear. Gannon Doe, well, he didn't, there's not much he could have done. He was just racing onto it as fast as he could. And by the time that he saw Bonu would come out and claimed it, he couldn't sign the ankles down quick enough. To be fair, Gannon Doe didn't take preference. Bonu had leapt to take the ball, so probably Gannon Doe bore the brunt of the collision, but both players are up now. And we're going to get ready to restart the game with a free kick to Morocco from within their box. No signs of any replacement so far for Morocco. Going with the same men who started the game, who are all the same men who started against Brazil, remember. Totally unchanged heading into this contest. Hendry to Hanley, back to Angus Gunn, who's around about his penalty spot. Robertson on the left. Chips the ball over the top, seeking Dykes. First header won by the big centre forward. But then Scotland are first to the secondary fouls. It's missed, controlled by Diaz. It's a throw to Scotland. McGinn wants to take it quickly. Diaz is doing a bit of pesting. But finally Scotland have it in their hands and now at their feet, and Hanley is spraying it outright. Scotland 0, Morocco 1, 75 minutes played, and a ball goes over the top, but it's cut out well by the watchful Riyad. Soft header from a Scotsman, and then the ball falls at the feet of Hendry. Hendry linking up here with McLean. Field opening up, urged forward by the voices of the travelling Tartan Army. Links up with Robertson and tries to play a first-time ball to McGinn, but Morocco, wise to it, cut out the pass, and now Diaz has it on the left. He plays it back to Bouhaddi. 1-2 with El Anoui. You sense there's going to be limited ambition to Morocco for these final 14 minutes of the normal time. If a chance of an opportunity presents itself, they'll grasp it, but otherwise they'll be content in possession as a ball goes over the top. Gets a toe in and Gunn clears. Still danger for Scotland. On the wraparound, Nasraoui down the left, goes for the byline, clips it in, but it goes too deep, and Diaz can't hunt back and get it. Sparky clambers over the top of John McGinn, who goes face first into the grass. The referee thought long and hard, and eventually he gave the free kick. But another bit of danger during the minutes of pause to Donny Strappy that came, and he's still coming in this, the 76th minute of the game. Scotland, McTominay, lovely ball to Dykes, receives it, there's barely a man near him, offloads it out to the right, this is the to put across him, Masrani blocks it, into the ball, and now it falls off his knees and into the hands of Bono, but there's the threat of the 20-year-old down the right wing that the Scottish fans have craved. Morocco happy to just launch the ball long, where Angus Gunn is waiting, and there's a surge in decibels and optimism and belief now amongst the Scots. Straight ball, finds McTominay in the middle, tries to out-muscle Buhari, full break to Gando, bit more footwork, 1, 2, 3 Moroccans arrive to shut him down, and he fails out, and eventually Scotland get dispossessed, and they're going to be careful here because Morocco could break in numbers, but the challenge comes in from Patterson. And there is something this is good for Scotland now. They're going to get their goal and they might get picked up by the Moroccans, but they're making inroads. Gando, more step overs, one less merit feet, cuts back inside, tries to get a cross in, but Buhari is working in tandem with Masraoui. The former breaks, finds a nice pass to his teammate Saibari, who runs out of legs and energy and feels like a galactic, and McGinn is off to the tripped out, moves up and the referee to follow up play as he tried to jiggle across the halfway line. Few complaints from the Scottish vice captain, and there's a bit of hustling and bustling now on the halfway line. McGinn doesn't want to get involved in this. Hakimi and Unai are the two that he's tangling with, but they've all broken away free of one another, and as far as Scotland is concerned, they want to maintain this momentum, they want to keep the rhythm in the match. Diop passes it to Riyad. Still no changes for Morocco. Buhari, centre spot, to his captain Hakimi. Diaz, a lot of room out here on the right, but not in a rush to probe much further along. Instead passes back to Hakimi, who has Unai alongside, and it's back to Diop, and we're almost back to the Morocco box. But we are out on the left. We all know how threatening that's been for them so far in this contest. Bonu, the keeper, to Diop. Those two avert smartly together all down. It's a shot ball that finds Hakimi, and then Hakimi gets tackled by Ferguson, and the ball goes out for a throw-in. Finally, we're going to get a change from Morocco. Looks like Soufiane Rahimi will be on for some minutes. Came on in the 89th against Brazil last week, so we'll get a few more than the solitary one on his first World Cup adventure. He's not onto the field yet though, didn't seem to find time to make the actual change. Instead, Diop is just outside his box, plays a pass forward, and a good tackle comes in from Lewis Ferguson, who's tackled and harried relentlessly. Hendry, possession all Scotland's now, by and large. Still the threat of Morocco does pose itself, and Robertson wins ahead. just playing, toying with Patterson, makes his way into the box, chips it into the 6-yard area, and it's softly flicking up the chest of Lewis Ferguson, back into the hands of Angus Gunn. He just drops the ball down to Hendry, who delivers it to his centre-back partner, Hanley. 82 minutes and 17 seconds played. Scotland 0, Morocco 1. Scotland building in confidence. But yet to find the killer blow. A point almost guarantees them. It does as much as it can do to put them into a historic knockout run. It doesn't quite have the pace or the control to do so. It was really well defended by Chadi Riyad, who manoeuvred his body between the ball and Dykes. As we take another look at McTominay going down in the area. Two players around him. Eli Maui involved again, just as he was with John McGinn. Scott McTominay's faced one of disbelief on the floor as he lay flat on his back. The goal scorer is now Saibari is replaced, and we get to feast our eyes one more time on the replay. And in fact, there's quite a few changes coming on. Shamsdeen Talbi is on, I think, as well. Amaimouni and Rahimi and Talbi, all replacements used against Brazil, and they're going for the same formula. Amaimouni almost getting a rebounded goal, but being thwarted by Alisson in the closing stages. Meteoric rise for the 21-year-old to even be here at this World Cup. Will he have a say in these closing minutes here against Scotland? They have the ball under their command in their own half. Hendry being closed down, but finds his captain Robertson wide left. There is space, there is more time on the ball, and there's a bit of hit in the Scottish stuff as Hendry advances forward. This is a ball wide right. Darren Doe on the ball, and just there's a little surge of electricity in the front. Defensive leg, and it's gone for a corner, and Scotland are pressing with 85 minutes played. McGinn readies himself to put the corner, and every Scottish fan in the stadium on their feet, and with their mouths open, roaring their Tartan heroes on. It was there to be scored. McTominay and Dykes maybe even got in one another's way. Good opportunity for Dykes. It ultimately, I think he got unsighted, and ultimately the ball just arrived on his head rather than him planting a head on the ball. Went out for a goal kick, and it's been taken and pumped long. And Morocco have infringed, and it's a free kick to Scotland. They haven't hung around, they've taken it quickly, and now finding plenty of space. Numerous avenues in behind the Moroccan defence, but a telescopic limb cuts out the last pass. Now a long ball sent, and Angus Gunn has come all the way out, but then he watches it and drives it into his hands at the edge of his box. 86 minutes played, Scotland 0, Morocco 1. Back at the feet of Gunn for Scotland. Hendry calls for it out left. Players very much out on their legs at the moment. With Scotland, with so much motivation, to turn. Bourani pursues him relentlessly. And McGinn McTominay's one, and he gets in the way of another. No Scotsman lays a head or a foot on it, and the ball goes all the way to the sideline, and it's picked up by a Moroccan. Mazraoui comes onto the scene. Then Bouhaddi. And then it's a beautiful ball through the middle. Guns there to come out. He needed it all, and he did so with the only battle. 3 minutes of normal time to go. Remember, there's going to be some added time. So, more than enough for Morocco to put this game to bed, or for Scotland to hand themselves a qualification lifeline. Hendrick picks it up in the midfield. 10 yards into the Moroccan half. Ferguson. Gannon on the right. Mazraoui puts it up, gets off the challenging. Gannon finds it off from McConaughey, but he tries to swivel and shoot. But they're too much to it, and they can't get a quality strike in. And then Yassine Bouhaddi claims the ball, then goes down, and he is roundly booed because there isn't really any reason why he's gone down. It smacks of keep a tactical timeout. McTominay, amongst all this, is protesting with the referee that his jersey has been pulled and tugged. And Bouhaddi was still not up. The ball that came in had Gannon leaping for a header and McTominay arriving for an acrobatic on-the-move scissor kick, which never came off. Anthony Royston is on to the field for Scotland. And I think as well, Ross Stewart. Steve Clark emptying the bench. More changes as well for Morocco. Samir Al-Mourabet. A lot of fresh faces. A lot of people looking to put their name to a great moment. And they're coming together involving Al-Ainaoui, has resulted in a throw-in. And Al-Mourabet is coming on for Azzedine Ounahi. 89 minutes and 40 seconds played. Scotland 0, Morocco 1. We'll know how much additional time is coming in just a moment. Ball cleared long via the left boot of Yassine Bouhaddi. Won by Morocco, who are attacking down the left flank now. Scotland are going to be on defensive metal. Lots of blue jerseys around. Cross unleashed and blocked out by a strong Scottish head. Dykes looking too precious. A nice footwork from Amaoui. And it's a Moroccan throw. 6 additional minutes. And it just stokes the Scottish fires of hope. And it also jolts Mohamed Bouhaddi to rise from his bench and just ask his Atlas Lions to go to the well once more. Go to the well for now 5.5 more minutes to see off this spirited second half display that hasn't mounted the comeback yet, but they're on the ascent. Long clearance from Morocco, goes to a Scottish foot, and they too kick it long, and Bonu takes as much time as he can to pick the ball up. Stewart arriving to force his hand in doing so, and he punts the ball upfield. Volley from Scottish boot to Moroccan, and then taken under control by Amaoui. Amaoui on this right wing. Fresh legs, fast feet. Caesar Smith first kick down, but not the second time because the tackle comes in and Dykes is there too. Oh, that is leaving Moroccan players for dead. Then McTominay gets on the ball and finds it back right to the right. Scotland building down the flank. Ralston goes back. 4 minutes to go of the match. Just a slight miscommunication, and Morocco was surging down the right flank. If they score now, it's all over. And Mounier, infield, still hasn't broken for a Moroccan boot. Then unleash a shot from out wide, left and goes over the bar. Talby was charged with applying the finishing touch to this Moroccan match. It was a brilliant save in the end by Gunn, but it was awarded as a goal kick. So Scotland have cleared it long. It's been won in the centre circle by Morocco. And Bouhaddi, this 18-year-old, he just keeps going and going. He's been so strong and combative as well. He's got some more work to do because McTominay is breaking forward. Scotland in their half. Ralston fires the ball right. Now goes for a long one on the diagonal. Looking through his captain, he backpedaling, gets half a header to it, and then Hakimi with a poor clearance. Robertson gets brought down, ball goes into the box, and Bouhaddi who arrives to hit the ball clear. A battle for the secondary scrap. Scotland certainly thought so, but it's play on, says the referee. When the ball goes out, Mounier actually collides with Steve Clark, and it's all good-natured stuff. He knows that there was no malice, even though the passions are bubbling here. The replay of the free kick that Kenny McLean and the Scots wanted, but didn't look like much. But Morocco are really just trying to see out this last few minutes. 94 minutes on the clock it is. Last chance saloon for the Scots. Ball pumps wrong. One on the edge of the Moroccan box, and Hakimi just puts the laces through it and sends it all the way. All the way to the Scottish half. Gunn. Hendrick. Ferguson. And 2 Moroccan players up and pressing. Scotland pump another long ball up. Dykes misses out the battle, but McTominay's there. He grabs it, he claims it, but then the play's broken up by Talby. Talby might have just received it back. It's fractured field and a lot of space and many Moroccan runners. It opens up for Mounier on the right, who puts a foot on it, then lets a shake it with the left foot and sends it wide. Goal kick to Scotland. Less than 60 seconds to go. Both sides have given it everything. But have Scotland got one last bit to give? Forward into the back of Dykes, and he's gone down in the area of the battle. No free kick comes. There's been a lot of leniency, which is added to the flow of the game from Tantashev, the referee. Scotland! Either a Dykes wonder strike or a wandering goal from Riyad. Another long ball. This time Scotland won it, and it was a clearance that was volleyed out on the field from the corner from Riyad. And with 10 seconds on the game clock, it is Bouhaddi. This is Scotland's Moroccan moment. McTominay's in there. Ferguson charge with delivering the kill cross, an in-swinger from the corner, cleared by Morocco. Ball bounces and sits up, but McTominay doesn't do it. Ralston does it, and he gets a handful of Moroccan jersey. It's a free kick to the North Africans. And all the players are surrounding the referee right now. Mohamed ORB is just exchanging a high five with his assistant, and I think that is the end of the match. A muted and slightly confused and indecisive end to the match with regard to the final whistle. The Tartan Army have emptied their full arsenal of endeavour here at the Boston Stadium, but it has been in vain because of an Ismail Saidari scorcher of a strike after 2 minutes. I mean, Scotland's...
Thank you so much for your attendance here tonight at the Hydro, folks. Not only Mr. I thought we were robbed there, was there something from that game? Go on, let's hear it from the Scotland players and from the squad.